I'm not a payments person. I didn't know much about payments. All of a sudden you're in these massive meetings with all these people talking about payment gateways and, transaction fees and, card not present and all of this sort of stuff. I was like, oh my God, get me out of here.
This is not what you want.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the business was growing and I know how to grow a business, right? But it's like,
Yeah. Taf, welcome. It's been a long time. We've
What's
known you for
happening?
so long, bro.
early days, early 70s days.
Yeah. It's been over a year, right? That we've been in contact with Taf, I think.
More than a year.
than a bit.
Yeah, no, more than a year. Yeah, closer
Maybe more
to
like
two, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, a year and a half, too. Yeah.
It's so cute.
Crazy,
We made that video about about the
Secondz.
seconds in the comment area, and that's I think how we got in touch. Do you remember the seconds?
True,
video?
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I kind of like you guys got on my radar. Obviously, I'd seen your stuff before, but like really got on my radar when I saw that, and we kind of like met up and chopped it up, and yeah, no, it's good, man. It's been great to watch your growth too. Amazing.
Thanks for coming. We really appreciate it.
We do really
Thank you.
appreciate it. It's been so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's like talk about
Tough.
Taf
Yeah.
And
and Secondz and his life.
Jeez. All right, let's go. Hit me.
Yeah. So you weren't born in Australia, right?
No. I was born in Zimbabwe. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
When did you come here?
Came here for uni many years ago. Yeah, so I moved for uni to Queensland.
So when you were like 18?
Yeah, 18, 19.
Oh,
yeah.
cool. That's actually a big,
Yeah.
that's like quite an older age to be moving.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I
overseas.
was like I was just turning 19 or still 18 and moved for university. Kind of like didn't know what to expect. I was meant to go to America for university, but that didn't work out. So then my next kind of like options were go to the UK or go to Australia.
Right.
And I just purely made a weather decision.
Yeah.
I was like,
did you have any like families here? Or-
No one. No.
So just came on your own?
Yeah, just kind of
18 years old?
Yeah,
To study?
to study. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
How was it like growing up in Zimbabwe?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, really. I mean, like, it's not, the economy and stuff is not great now.
Yeah.
But like growing up, like unbelievable. Like I wouldn't want to be raised anywhere else. Like it was just like Zimbabwe, like 80s, 90s, incredible country.
Yeah. Like what do you
tell us about
recall
it.
like?
I mean, just everything. It was just like such a developed nation, like even just like in terms of like where we were like on an African standing or even on a global standing, like, like Zimbabwean people, like very highly educated. Like I think like even like peak 80s, like probably had one of the highest literacy rates for English in the world. So, like education's amazing, lifestyle's amazing. A lot of disposable income at that time with like just, with having such a strong economy. I think like at that time we were probably like, I can't remember exactly, but single digits with the British pound. I mean, now it's like out of control, but the exchange rate, like everything, it was a great time. Like if you ask anyone, like growing up in Zimbabwe in 80s, 90s, like wouldn't have wanted to grow up anywhere else.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what was the cultural differences when you came to Australia? Were you shocked or like you found it easy to integrate?
I mean, different. I mean, obviously at that time, like, probably like Zimbabwe's economy was starting to go down and it was like, people were starting to question like, let's explore or go out. But like, it was still a trend for people to go overseas for university. But from a cultural shock standpoint, I mean, look, we were a British colony in Zimbabwe. So a lot of those influences are there. A lot of the stuff you kind of like, I mean, depending on your upbringing, but like, a lot of us, you grow up like familiar with the references and stuff, or like what you see on TV or anything like that.
Yeah.
I grew up playing rugby union, so you're following the, obviously you watch the Wallabies, you do, all that sort of stuff. You're quite familiar with, but like culturally, it is a big change. Obviously, things are different. How people live are different. How versus how I grew up, and I mean, for me, you're moving out of home for the first time.
Right.
Tell
you
me
gotta
about
re-
that. Like, yeah, like, you know, like when I left Lebanon,
Yeah.
I was not as young as you. I was
Yeah.
like 23, but
Yeah.
it was the first time I actually ever left Lebanon, and it was so scary. And yeah, I cried too much. Tell me a little bit about your experience. Like,
You just
know,
threw that in there so nonchalant. Yeah, I cried way too much.
I cried a lot. Like,
Yeah.
You know, so
No,
yeah,
that's, yeah, I respect that.
Why? Were you scared?
just emotional, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, saying goodbye to my friends and to my mum and going to a place where I have no fucking clue what it is. Just
Yeah.
going there. Yeah, it's scary.
No, for sure. I mean, look, I knew like one or two people here that were, had just started university maybe a year before, but still obviously the unknown. But I think I actually relished it. I relished the opportunity, like the independence. It's probably a little bit different experience to yourself. I was like, I can't wait to. At that point, I kind of taken like a gap year from like after high school. I just couldn't wait to go. I just wanted to go because America had fallen through. So I was just like, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's explore something new. And yeah, I was just ready to go. Probably, like I said, complete opposite. I got to the worst thing my parents could have done was send me to Queensland, especially like for university, specifically like the Gold Coast. I went to Griffith Uni, but like there was just as much fun around as well. Like
So you loved it?
Oh, we were around every single night, just like just proper like uni
Life.
Uni life, like
It's amazing.
And what did you do like when you got here? So you went to the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
And what did you study?
I studied international business and sports management. So my dream was to be a sports agent. That was obviously I'm not that.
You would have been good at that though.
That was my thing, man.
Yeah.
Full Jerry Maguire was like what I was trying to go for. I mean, I used to be like, I still love sports, but I used to be obsessed. So I just wanted to like represent players, become like a big Top Shot agent. So and obviously I've always loved I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, but that's what I was meant to do. But and that's what I studied at university. But Australia is probably the wrong country
For that.
There's no money in sports.
There's no
here.
money in sports here. Like a big AFL players maybe on like 1 or 2 mil or something like that. But you go to like UK, if you follow soccer, or you go to like the NBA, like
Of course, yeah. The contracts
a crap football player makes like £50,000 a week. It's a different ball game, So, but I did briefly work for Queensland Cricket straight out of uni, but it just wasn't for me. Yeah.
So you finished uni?
Yeah.
You did finish uni?
Yeah.
And then like, how did you get up into like entrepreneurship and startups?
You worked in
Like,
heaps of like hospitality, like food tech companies.
Yeah.
Like why hospitality, why food tech? Like did you just fall into it randomly or what was the go?
Kind of just fell into it, to be honest. Like it wasn't something specific I was looking for. Like I said, I started in like the sports space after uni, after I graduated, and then that wasn't really for me. I moved into like corporate was like fun, like flew everywhere, corporate credit card, in your early 20s, but again, I didn't really feel that free spirit or impact that I wanted.
Once you get over that kind of stuff, I feel like it really like loses its sparkle.
Yeah,
I feel like all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? It's like, I get to fly to places, but then it's just like, I'm just working, but just flying to places. It's the same thing.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's kind of, it's exciting when you're like early 20s, and you're making like, pretty decent money, like more than most of your mates. You're like, this is amazing. But like, you kind of get over it. And I took like a punt on a startup at that time. It was like in workforce management software. Because I was always earning for something entrepreneurial. And I kind of just took a punt on the startup, and it was just like 3 of us in Queensland, just in some apartment.
What was it called?
At that time it was called Roster Plus. Now it's called Ento. But I believe they've now been acquired by a PE from the US. But like very early on, no one was really doing like cloud systems for workforce management software. Right. So it was like, it was good, but like we were 3 kids in an apartment, right? And we closed this massive Telstra deal, very early on. And I was like, holy cow, if these people could see the office and see how we dress, what we're doing, there would be like no chance. But like that just like, from there on, I was like, this is it. I'm in startups. Like,
And what kind of a like role? So you had 3 mates,
Yeah.
right? And what kind of a role were you assuming within, you know, the companies? Like, what would you say are your strong suits
yeah.
that
so,
you know allow you to move through these kinds of things?
Yeah, so those guys I met, like we were mates, and then obviously we became mates with the founder, but like I joined like person number 3, and my role was growth. Like I come from a sales background, and I've just always been able to like grow businesses, make sales, win deals. That's just always been in me. I love it. I love negotiation. I love selling. So, and I think like that skill set, like for me, like one of the best skill sets you can have, being able to sell. Like a lot of people like just absolutely hate it or don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I've always been very thankful that I have that skill set, or I've trained myself to be able to use that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you got to like really love people as well.
Yeah.
To kind of like have that
Yeah.
skill, because it's just so people based, just talking to people, trying to figure out a way to make them happy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
being able to tell a story, like all of that. Yeah.
Were you the kind of person like, you know, to start that first startup basically? Were you like reading books about startups? Like what actually intrigued that spark for you to like start your own thing?
Impact. Just the autonomy and the impact. Like, you know, like I said, like just being like 3 kids and closing like one of the biggest companies in Australia, right? Winning against like big $1 million companies, right? When you see that, it's very hard to go back to a normal job.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you're when you have an idea and you're just having a conversation with a few people, like, oh, you know, everyone has these conversations. You know, when you're like, oh, imagine if like you can imagine like the first people at Airbnb. Oh, imagine if we just started renting out people's rooms in their houses, and then people could book them online, right? People would think you're crazy, like before that goes on, right? But these are sort of conversations. Everyone's got a good idea,
Yeah.
but then actually going and doing it,
Doing it.
and then like after year 1, you're like, holy cow, look where we are, and like following that journey, and then seeing it come to fruition. It's like a drug. Like honestly, it's just like you know, you get hooked on that impact you can have, that, you know, both personally and on other people as well. Going on that journey, I love everything that the entrepreneurial journey brings, good or bad.
The
But,
potential.
You know, absolutely. The potential, it's limitless. You're in control of your own destiny a lot of the times. But one of the things I always tell people when they tell me like, oh, I want to get into business.
Yeah.
Best advice I could ever do is like, don't do it. Do you know, like, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
hectic,
People see the romance and they're like,
You got to be prepared to grind it the fuck out. Like,
I just don't recommend it. Like, if you're not built for that, or you can't take losses, or you can't take rejection, or you can't take like planning for something for so long and
Delayed
building it, then it
gratification.
fails. Like entrepreneurship is like, especially startups, it's a contact sport. It's brutal.
Yeah.
You know, so many fail, most fail, right? So having the spirit to actually push on and persevere, it takes a lot out of you. It affects everything, your relationships, your life, your health.
Yeah.
So I always start by saying, don't do it. And if you can get past that, then let's have a conversation.
How long ago was that your first startup?
Well, been involved in, probably talking about my own, or like being involved in startups.
Yeah.
Ento, how long ago was that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We're talking like 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah. I've been in
so,
that. So I've been in that space since. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been since then, and you mentioned that it's so hard to get back to a job.
Yeah,
Did
absolutely.
you get back into a job since then?
No, I mean, I was employed, but I stayed in startups.
Okay. So you were employed in a startup.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So exec senior roles, I was one of the early employees at My Guest List. So you may know My Guest List, big marketing platform.
Yeah.
You know, went to the US. They got acquired by Mr. Yum a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So I was part of that team. And then obviously moved on to other startups, but always since I did the Ento, I've stayed in
In startups.
I stayed in startups. But My Guest List was the start of the hospo tech journey.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So you did My Guest List,
Yeah.
and then you were national manager for Zomato after that, right? Is that the?
No. So I was national manager for My Guest List.
Yeah.
And then for Zomato, I was like the country manager. So I ran
manager.
Australia. and-
Country manager. Yeah. Is that national manager? No, maybe it's a different role.
Kind of same thing. Probably
Yeah,
national
yeah.
is a little bit more sales based, but country looks after the P&L, the growth, sales, the whole.
a bit more like ops.
Encompasses the whole thing.
As well,
yeah.
How old were you?
Oh God, we're doing ages on hard media.
I'm curious because, like, you know, to be a country manager for someone, it's a good
big
role.
role.
Just,
It's
you know.
it's a great role. I essentially look after the APAC region. I was in my 30s.
Okay, that's good.
Early
Okay.
30s, I'd say.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That makes
Yeah.
sense if you're like a hustler.
Yeah.
30s, big role like that.
Yeah,
That's
early
really
30s,
good.
I was kind of like, doing that, or maybe had just turned. I'm not sure. Yeah. But,
So you've built your experience, career, and like character around startups.
Yeah.
But you haven't started your own. What was your first startup that you founded or co-founded?
Yeah, it was after Zomato. I mean, Zomato was great because obviously that's when I really like saw what I could do from like obviously senior role, My Guest List, Zomato. I ran APAC, and I could really like impact the business, look after the P&L. You know, we 10x'd our growth here. You know, we're one of the best performing countries out of like 27 countries globally. And then Zomato exited in COVID. It just like closed most of the countries globally. So it's kind of like, okay, what's next? So I co-founded a startup called Payo, payments platform for hospitality.
Payo. P-A-Y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could go back, I probably wouldn't do it.
Why is that?
It's just probably the first time I've chased something trending and not something true to my
Passion.
or what I'm about. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like payments was trending, buy now, pay later was trending, like all those sort of things. I was like, what if we bring this to, what if we do something specific to hospitality? So obviously Sean and I met at Zomato. Sean, who's my co-founder, we met at Zomato, and we co-founded along with someone else, Payo. And it was great, you know, for a point we're the fastest growing hospital platform in Australia, trending really well, but I'm not a payments person. I didn't know much about payments. You know, all of a sudden you're in these massive meetings with all these people talking about payment gateways and, you know, transaction fees and, you know, card not present and all of this sort of stuff. I was like, oh my God, get me out of here.
This is not where you want it.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like the business was growing and I know how to grow a business, right? But it's like, you talk about like now, whether it's Zomato or whether it's like now it's Secondz, I can talk about what we do till the cows come home. Like it's natural to me. I love it. It's of interest. But that was just like,
Finance.
this could do well. This, you know, this could make some money. So that was a lesson to like never don't do that. Like,
Did you sell that?
Exited.
You exited, yeah. And then with that one, with Payo, what was the process like? So that was the first one that you started on your own.
Yeah.
Did you have to like raise capital or anything like that?
Yeah, we raised capital. Yeah, we raised capital.
What was that process like? Did you already know how to do that from Zomato or?
I'd been around the process and I had consulted and helped with some stuff in the past, like, you know, because I had to do some consulting, but not actually gone out and tried to raise by myself. That was a rude awakening. I mean, like raising funds or raising money, that's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that is not easy at all. That is something that takes up all of your time. It needs like so much focus. For a lot of it is a numbers game because you have to speak to so many people, so much rejection, you know, really nailing that elevator pitch, being able to communicate the value in like a couple of minutes because people just don't have time.
It's
you know,
intense.
they see this all the time. So that process was great. Like obviously I'm tongue in cheek about like, oh, you know, I wish I hadn't done that or whatever, but so many lessons. And I think that's the whole thing about business. You have to learn, you know, from all the mistakes or failures. You take that and you always learn and make sure you don't repeat those mistakes. So I learned a lot of stuff, but raising capital, brutal. Yeah.
It's a whole thing, right? Yeah. I wanted to ask you about that because
it's hard, right? Because you gotta take people on this journey, and they gotta believe that they're gonna get something out of this, like either in the short term or long term. But they have to believe that you can execute. So they're buying into you. They have to believe that the vision or the mission that you've put forward for the company is something that has is scalable and has a large target audience. They've got to believe that it's the right time. And like I said before, a lot of people have great ideas, right? But in business, as you know, sometimes it's just a timing thing, Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you build the best product and it's the wrong time. So many things can go wrong. So investors are trying to be like, what is the sure bet here?
Yeah.
What if, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that maybe they're starting up something and they're going to seek, some revenue.
Yeah.
What's a piece of advice that you give to someone? Obviously you did it many times. I'm sure you've adjusted your pitch that many times. What's like a big something, like one thing that really helped you in that process?
For raising capital?
Yeah. When you're pitching to people?
Yeah, pitching. I think some of the biggest things I would have learned, I think being very clear, all right, about what it is that you're trying to achieve, right? That sounds quite simple, but it's communicating that in one sentence or say elevator pitch. It's actually quite hard, but you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to, obviously you have to be able to, articulate the value. You have to be able to show that there's experience in the team and they can trust the team.
Yeah.
There's all these sort of things that you really have to look on and
So if I'm a billionaire right now and you come to me, you wanted to raise some capital and you're pitching me Secondz.
I'm pitching you Secondz.
What would you say?
Good question. I would say that we are going to change the way the world eats, and by being the most trusted and fastest way to find a restaurant.
Boom.
And I think, straight away there, if you're an investor or someone, and someone tells you they're going to change the way the world eats, immediately you're asking yourself, well, how are they going to do that?
Yeah.
There's interest already, there's intrigue, so you got to go for something big and then break down how you're going to do it. Yeah.
I do have an interesting observation here. Right now, I'm looking at Taf and I know you. I know your brand. I know you're very trusted. You've built a good brand and you have a lot of following and a good community. I actually can believe in you. And I'm like, okay, they're actually there. They're on the way and, but it does makes it way harder if you didn't have that backup of you know what I mean? A following and that trust. And I think that's what someone that's only starting find really hard.
When you say following, the following we built with the brand?
Yeah,
Well, that's very interesting and that's a good point. But I think that is probably some of the advice I'd give to people starting off now or starting a new business. We've done things the other way around.
Yeah.
Typically what people do, they build the product, they spend all this time building, refining, or making this amazing website or this product or this app, right? And then they go try find the customers. What we said was, no. And again, it goes back to learning lessons from past startups, right? Like I said, we've had a lot of fuck ups. We had a lot of, can you swear on this?
Yeah.
We've had, I've made a lot of mistakes in the past, had a lot of wins as well. But one of the things I found is that one, it's expensive to win new customers. Two, it's bloody hard to win customers, right? So we deliberately went out and said, when we were first brainstorming this with Sean, we're like, we are going to go out and build a brand before we launch the app. We are going to go and start a following, get trust, build a community. So we had all these interviews. We were always going to have all these experts on the app, but we went and interviewed them a year before the app came out and just started this whole thing. What is Secondz? Who are these guys? What's happening? All of this sort of stuff. So we're fortunate, yes, we have the following now, but that's something we invested in and took the punt before we released the product. versus trying to release the product and then
You don't have anyone to buy
you
it.
don't have anyone to buy it, right? So that's
That's good. This is a good, I think, segue to actually start talking about Secondz now, because like we're here. But with like, in terms of how that actually went, and I'm just really curious about this too. Like, you built that brand, but I guess like the brand, it was direct because it's like getting advice from people that are experts in the industry, right? You're interviewing top chefs about where they like to eat, blah blah. That's kind of what is on the app. But how did it go from building that big following? You guys went pretty viral, over 100,000 whatever followers, I think, very quickly. And then when you launched the app, because you have launched it, what's like, how did that go?
How did it
go? Like, did those followers translate into actual people on the app?
Yeah, good question. So we had an amazing start. Like within first week, we were ranking in the top 30 apps for food and drink in Australia.
Wow.
So
really good.
There's your bet paid off, right? You know, would anyone, if you didn't do that and you built a product and then you went publish on the Play Store, you wouldn't even rank. You wouldn't even get one thing. So that was the benefit of building a brand, building trust, building a community, and doing that. And obviously, that's kind of slowed down because like we're building in public. Like it's not, and that's another thing as well, right? We built this following, but because they trust us, they're allowing us to build in public, to make mistakes, to refine, to get feedback. And because I guess in the startup world, you have to move fast. Like it doesn't wait for anyone, you know? People can see your idea, take it, do it better. You know, all of that sort of stuff. So, you know, something we do is just to move at a ferocious pace and build in public and get feedback. And, you know, honestly, if you're not embarrassed by like the first version of your app that's come out, you know, you probably released it too late. You know, that's like something that's synonymous in the startup industry, right? Just get out that MVP, get out that minimal viable product, and just start to, you know, release new versions and learn.
Move as fast as possible. And then worry about like infrastructure and all that shit later.
No, you just got to get it out. Got to get it out and learn. Like,
How did the idea of Secondz start? Like, it's obviously on Sean. Shout out Sean.
Shout out Sean.
Yeah, we do love Sean. We wish he was here.
Shout out Sean, my co-founder. Like I said, we met at Zomato. So with the idea, obviously I used to work at Zomato, and which is weird. We're now pro recommendations only. If anyone's familiar with Zomato, it was obviously a review platform. So based on user reviews, and obviously like running that business, you can imagine every Monday morning I'm coming to just a barrage of emails of just pissed off restaurant owners. This never happened. Why is this person leaving this review? Blah, 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 blah. Obviously it served this purpose.
That's so interesting.
I'm not, you know, I'm not discounting the value of reviews, and I think like that sort of business model had its time. But, you know, I just kept saying in my head and like, there has to be a better way. Surely there's a better way. And obviously like chatting with Sean and that sort of stuff, I was like, there has to be a better way. And we saw this behavior on social media where a lot of the times friends would come to Melbourne, right? And of course, you have publications, which you're all familiar with. We have TripAdvisor, Google, everything, right? So many reference points. But someone would message me and go, hey, I'm in Melbourne. Do you have any recommendations? I need a really good bar. I've got this girl I'm taking out. Where should I go? Hey, I'm going for a family dinner. I'm like, why are people doing this when there's all these reference points? And it's the same thing where, you know, if you go on social media today, I'm sure one of your stories, you'll see right now it's Euro summer. You'll see someone saying like, hey, in Italy for the first time, any recommendations? In Paris for the first time. You see those stories all the time, right?
But but even like, you know, we live in Melbourne and I'm always looking for recommendations. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not like because it's a big city. There's so much to know all about.
There's so much to know, And you just kept seeing this conversation. We're like, why is this happening? Like, you know, why is everyone sending a text message or going on social media when there's all these amazing magazines or websites or whatever? It's because people trust their network more than anything else. But no one had digitized that. No one had made that into an app. No one had said like, you know, the same way on social media, you follow someone and you can see, you know, where they've been or what they're doing. We're like, well, let's do that for restaurants the
It's
same
like
way.
so obvious.
Yeah.
But like honestly, no one could see it before.
Yeah. We were just like, surely let's just create an app. Surely people will see value in being able to connect with their friends. And that's essentially what Secondz is. It's a restaurant guide where you get off a plane. If you're live in your city, you'll see where the best chefs in that city recommend. You'll see where your friends recommend in that city, and you'll see where Secondz recommends. That's a pretty good reference point, yeah.
I actually just realized I do have a good story. I think I saw Builder's Arms getting recommended a few times, and I live close to Builder's Arms, but I never went there.
Never,
I don't go to pubs that much, but
I can't believe he's saying this right now because he goes to pubs at least
you're a
twice
pub guy.
at least twice or three times a week.
Oh, he's converted now, maybe.
Because of Secondz.
Literally, honestly, and I think a few people mentioned Builder's Arms, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go and try this pub. And then I went there, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And now it's like it's my number one place, I go there all the time, and I recommend it all the time. And
isn't that crazy? That satisfaction, and that's where we saw the power of a recommendation. We never knew this would take off obviously everyone goes into business with the best intentions or hoping they're going to be successful or some degree of success. But, very early on, when we were first doing interviews, when people were we're DMing chefs and emailing chefs, and they're like, what? Who are you? Now it's completely flipped.
Of course.
People are asking us oh my God, please can I, but very early on, it was quite hard. It wasn't easy to start up. And Michael Bashetta, who used to be co-owner of Bar Liberty, Capitano, etc., all of that. He was our first interview or second interview. And I've been in the hospital tech space for ages. I'm quite well versed in knowing good spots. And he was underrated gem is Golden Peanut, this amazing restaurant in a reservoir that does the best Thai food, but I don't really want to share it. And I was like, what is this place? I've never heard of this place, right?
Did you go?
Went there. Unbelievable. Sadly, it's closed now.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But recently, but I believe it is, but unbelievable wreck, right? And that just kept happening. And I was like, how have I never heard of all these places? I'm quite in the scene, and I was like, okay, we're onto something here. Sure, I think people are gonna get a lot of value out of it. And even it's even like you said, the perfect example is maybe places you do know or recognize, but until people you trust gave it that stamp, you're like, hang on, let me go try this joint, right? And that's the beautiful thing about what a platform like Secondz can do. Yeah.
So what day did you launch your first video? When you launched Secondz Instagram, how was that like? Tell me a little bit about those days. I'm really
wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
So from your first video to what number video was it when you started to actually gain attraction?
The first one.
Really? Wow.
The first one.
Who was the first one?
The first one went viral.
That was Michael.
We did it.
Was Michael the first one?
No. He was one of the first interviews we did.
Yeah.
But we obviously published them in different orders. I think he ended up going up number 4 or number 2 or something.
Yeah.
But we did a teaser post.
Yeah.
That's the post number 1.
Yeah.
Where it was what's the best restaurant in? What's the best restaurant in? But it's all faces you recognized. But I think the very first one we dropped was Kayleen Tan.
Oh, okay. Shout out
Kayleen Tan.
Yeah, shout out Kelly. She was very generous with the time.
Oh,
wow. She was the very first interview. You got to realize, fresh off, no one has seen this concept in Australia. We go live, and I think 140,000 views after 2 days. It just went viral.
So good.
And we were just holy cow. And, people just DMing, messaging, comments going crazy. And then post that, literally, you would wake up, Sean and I would check our phones every morning, whenever, and would message each other and just be like, geez. Every time you touched your phone, 100 new followers, 100 new followers, 100 new followers, just the max amount every time.
Unreal.
We just went, people just saw the value from day one, and it just went viral.
What were you like at that time of launching? It's because when you're starting something, you think a lot about it, and you know there is that fear of like, is it gonna work? Is it not gonna work?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah, it got like, obviously, like when I say like it went good, like it went, it was obviously like trending nicely and like it was very Melbourne-esque and stuff. And in terms of focus, we didn't know if it was going to catch on everywhere else or, you know, what was going to happen. That's how you go into every business, right? But like, I feel like if the opportunity is big, you kind of have to go for it. I think most people make the mistake of not taking the risk. Do you know what I mean? To be an entrepreneur successful, you have to be able to take a risk and kind of like just see how big the opportunity is, see the size of the problem that you're solving. Like, I think reviews just absolutely suck. Like, just like listening to some stranger talk a rant about a restaurant and, you know, they couldn't find the toilet, so they gave it 1 star. Like, why on earth would I waste my time, like, you know, listening to that?
Yeah.
So you kind of just like have to put your best foot forward and know you're going to try and test things. And we just went for it. We also got lucky, and also being in the industry, you know, I was lucky. Like, I had someone like Victor Leong that was able to, another friend of your podcast, Victor Leong, who was able to give me an intro to Dan Hong.
From Sydney.
From Sydney, yeah. When that interview dropped, again early on, that's when Secondz, like, everyone was like, okay, what the hell is Secondz? That took us around Australia. The Dan Hong interview.
Hell yeah.
Exploded.
What was that restaurant
You also
we ate in
chose
Sydney?
Mr. Wong?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
he is the head chef there.
You chose a good industry to try to penetrate though with this kind of stuff, because even like with us with the podcast, chefs, like, they're popular, but they're not like unreachable for this kind of content that you're going for.
Yeah.
But kind of like the translation of that to food recs is so great, because, you know what I mean? Like, people know the chefs, but they're not like super famous that you couldn't just message one of them and say, hey, I'm watching this app, I want to interview you about like favorite place, and they'd say no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
they're pretty attainable.
Yeah, it's definitely attainable, and I think they're kind of like they love the positivity of it all. And like you said, like it is accessible, but like I think the main thing, because I've been in this space for so long, a lot of restaurants or people they use technology, but they hate it. Like, you know, like hospitality people are purists at, you know, at the core, right? You know, like technology and those sort of things are, you know, maybe a lot of the times not embraced, but like they're a necessary evil.
Yeah.
So even like when I was doing really well at companies, be it like Zomato, be it like my guest list, be it whatever, like half the time they're like, fuck, I gotta use you guys, but I fucking hate you, you know? But Secondz was the first time where I really felt the support from the industry.
Yeah.
They were like, oh my God, what you guys are doing. We love that, you know, we get to talk about our colleagues and, you know, share that knowledge. And from us, you know, we saw content in Australia and we said that, look, I think everyone's kind of doing everything the same way. It's very much in this like, you know, it's not a bad thing, but like in this Channel 9 getaway type style, you know, very clean.
A lot of gatekeeping as well. Yeah. You know, I feel like, you know, if you know someone in those publications or, you know, you have a PR agency, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of limited to that in a way. I feel like what you guys did was like, I don't know, the People's app, where even if I don't actually know the chef,
no,
you know, maybe I know their restaurant. It was honestly, I think it was actually really interesting as well to see the chefs and the people behind the brands as well.
100%. That was the change, right? Because usually what happens is insert photo in the chef's whites, very formal, very serious publication. You know, Victor Leong has just released this. Yeah. All of a sudden, we flipped the script, and then they were in their casual clothes. Yeah. You know, some of them very stylish, some of them, you know, like you get to see their personality, and they're like, and it was just in a way that they hadn't been represented or seen, like in a media thing, and people just really resonated with that. They were like, oh, there's a human being behind my favorite restaurant. Oh, this is where they go. Well, if I love this place, I'm definitely going to love that place. It's not like people had written about chefs' recommendations before, but, you know, it was still very much in a formal very, rigid type of style. But
it was like a sentence in like a PR release or something about like a recent restaurant they liked or some shit.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like something so approachable.
No, but we wanted
the way that you made it.
We always wanted our content. Obviously now we've kind of like, we still do interviews, but we transition into other content, but we always wanted to bring like a very different energy to how hospitality was covered in Australia. We wanted to be, a bit more edgy, a bit more like, Vice Munchies, that whole type of feeling. And we felt like no one was really doing that in Australia. And I feel like the energy we brought has been able to like help us grow the business.
You know what's crazy? I was in Indonesia like 2 weeks ago and I was looking for restaurants and I don't look on Google anymore. I just write on Instagram or TikTok, and I'm not joking. I got the Secondz recommendations.
The interviews popped up?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Did you go?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Was it good?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I went to one of them.
I hope so. Were they?
No, it was really good, man. Like, to see that, I think it's big. I got a question for you.
Ask me.
When you started the Instagram page, did you have a job?
Oh, did I have was I working anywhere else?
Yeah, you're in Sean.
No.
So you quit everything and you wanted to focus on Secondz. Before you even know that
it was gonna work.
It's gonna work.
Yeah, it was kind of like just come off some consulting. Obviously post-payer, doing a bit of consulting in the startup space for various startups, and then raised a very tiny seed round. So obviously we told
4 seconds.
Yeah, 4 seconds. Yeah.
Before you launch.
Yeah, before we launch.
What was that seed round like? Like a family and friends one, or you're going to?
Yeah, family and
VCs
friends
and
and very like angel investors. So we kind of like went and pitched them the idea of what we're trying to do, and we were very lucky that like the few people in Queensland more so, and a few in Melbourne were like, wow, okay, we believe in this. He has some capital to kind of get this started, and just dropped everything. And because I don't think you can have a plan B. Like, if you have a plan B, I think that's just like probably like, I know it's very responsible, but you're probably on your way to failing. Like, to make business work and everything, I believe you have to be all in.
Must be crazy because I know you're married and have a child.
Yeah.
A beautiful girl.
Yeah, I do.
And I feel like, I don't know, to jump into like something like that where you actually are not earning an income.
Correct.
Might be a bit scary. Like, how did you?
Yeah, all of the above. Scary, crazy. Stupid, like my wife will agree with you. Like, but
sure, it's reality. Yeah,
but that's the reality. I think, like I said, like I think entrepreneurial is like not normal people. You kind of just there's that will and desire to back yourself, and you got to have the right support networks around to kind of like give you that foundation to be able to go for something. And if you believe in it that much, I think you just have to go for it. Otherwise, I never want to be that person that looks back and go like, oh, what if, or I wish I'd done that, or do you know what I mean? A lot of people do that, and I just think that the timing was right. I could clearly see that hospitality, reviews, recommendations was ripe for disruption. Like, we just had to execute, but I could see that the timing was right. There were a few things that we saw kind of like happening in Europe as well, or the UK, and we're like, we just got to go for it. And here we are today.
So that initial period when you were starting it up, I know because you guys were trying to engage us for media services. So you obviously had a meet because you guys were uploading like every day, once a day, or like twice a day even.
Yeah.
So you're pumping out content. You're paying for that with like the seed money, and you were able to just kind of like maintain that. Were there any like dicey points before you like just launched the app, or like was it just smooth sailing through the whole thing?
Oh no, we're using our money as founders, we're using seed money, like you're just using everything you can, right? A lot of people like from the outside are just like, oh my God, Secondz, you guys are having so much fun, it looks so good. Oh my God, you get to eat out. Like,
would have been unreal.
It is like posting every single day, like that amount of content with like 3 or 4 of you at that stage is very, very hard. Like, and again, like I think people don't maybe realize or don't realize, we always took the approach of like, we want great quality and we want to entertain people, but but also we have taste levels and want things executed at a high level. So nothing is filmed with the iPhone in our business. Everything is professionally filmed. So, you guys know, like using professional video camera, then you got to edit like their large files.
And then
like
reach out at the start.
It's hard. Then
revisions,
you're going to Sydney, Brisbane, you're flying your videographer, you're flying the host. It's a just to get an interview out is very expensive, right? But it's an investment we wanted to make to be able to build that audience and build that following. So when we did release the product, we had, that investment would pay off, versus like building the product, running out of money and then trying to buy ads or spend money on marketing and that sort of stuff. We have this audience that trusts us and is letting us build in public. Yeah.
Cool. And then monetizing it?
So, that is the plan. From now, like we're very fortunate that very early on we pivoted our, not pivoted, but like we added different types of content. So, you may have seen like, it's not just interviews on the Secondz page now. We do stuff like 24 hours in Bangkok, 24 hours in Sydney, different partnerships, collabs, all that sort of stuff. And we've been fortunate enough to be able to make good revenue from brand partnerships while we build out the app and progress on that. So, and we've had some great brand partnerships. Like for a company so young, like, we've worked with the likes of Mercedes, like, Tourism New Zealand, like all of the stuff like Inku, like just, really, really high level brands have trusted us with their vision and allowed us to create for them and work with them. So we've been very fortunate in that way and to generate revenue. The app doesn't monetize just now or right now. It will very soon. And then, you'll see the business start to change once we do that. Yeah.
What's the biggest moment that you felt like, fuck man, how is this even possible? In terms of like a guest on the interviews or...
a guest?
Yeah, a guest.
Good question.
It's hard to remember you had
No, we've done probably like 600 interviews now, but I'm trying to think like who is one that like sticks out. Oh, the team's gonna kill me. Obviously Dan Hong, we couldn't believe we got, like, when we did get it, and that did what we thought it would do. I think
Toto?
Master. Oh yes. No, I thought you're talking just about like from a chef perspective. I'm talking about like anyone. Oh right. Oh yeah. I think like Toto Wolff was crazy. Like that was crazy. Like Phineas. Like we've done like, because like now we interview like touring musicians. We interview like Toto Wolff, F1 principals, like all of that sort of stuff. Like has just been like. Yeah, and I think just the Mercedes partnership in general, right?
Huge.
Like that was like
guys.
That was such a big stamp for us to be like for a brand like that to they work with like legacy brands.
Yeah.
Like in that sort of world, you work with legacy brands that have like been around for ages, but we're a young business, and they were like, they're like the Secondz vibe, whatever. So that was a pinch me moment to be like, okay, wow, this is cool. Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're living in a dream? Did you ever actually imagine the kind of life you have right now in terms of like working with this fucking cool brand and traveling the world? And
I love it. Like it's something I've worked to build. It's something that I feel like I've kind of like paid my dues with like different businesses and failed and learned from and whatever.
Didn't happen overnight.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so it's kind of like I just felt like I was prepared to kind of like
receive.
To kind of like and to make sure this kind of like took the right trajectory. I think we're very fortunate. I think we've had a lot of support from the hospitality industry. Like they've been so selfless in their time, in their generosity and everything, in getting behind us. And now we're live in Australia. We're live in Bangkok, Singapore, Bali, like it's just a 2-year business, right? So it's crazy to look back and see what we've done in such a short period of time. But, for us, we're just getting started, right? Like, like I always say, the dream is if you go on holiday anywhere in the world or you're eating anywhere in the world, we want Secondz to be the first thing that you open up is the app, right? So we're far away from doing that. So while it's been amazing, I think there's still that big goal to kind of like go for and strive for. And we're going to do that in various different ways. Like I said, like, through our content, through all our stuff, like even like for myself, I'm into fashion and we get to bring I always thought that fashion, music, food, I think it's all connected.
They are.
Do you know? Like people
Massively.
like separated, but we work closely with a lot of fashion brands and kind of like, because for us, like they're tastemakers as well, right?
Of course.
And you're kind of like seeing that pivot from us now. Like, if you're walking around in Paris for the first time, right? And you saw some cool looking guy, behind the store. That's the person you would ask, like, hey, where's the best wine bar in Paris, right? So, it's like all those sort of things and the aesthetics of a restaurant and just the way the world is now, all those things are connected, like tastemakers. And, we want people to have that in the palm of their hands. Like, where are all the, if you know places, right? Not all the places people write about or, that have spent money or whatever. Like, where are the places that, I wish I knew. I wish I could eat like a local when I was over there. And even just like discovering places in your own city. Like, I feel like a tourist sometimes in Secondz where I'm like, what is this place this person has wrecked?
That's the best.
Right? And you're so excited in your own city to be like, I got to go try this place.
Yeah.
And then you try it and you're like, holy cow, I didn't even know this place existed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's just so much fun. And to be able to give people the platform to do that, to be able to support the industry, it's weird. Like, it's weird the impact that has, like, that, or the impact Secondz has. Like, we go to a place like, where were we recently? Like, we were at, what's it called? Cavallaro and Sons in Fuscray. Like, the cannoli place.
Cannolaria?
No.
Like a traditional one.
Yeah.
I've seen it, yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about? Yeah, in Footscray. But it happens a lot every time we go to restaurants, right? And like either a small operator or even sometimes big one, they're like, hey, when someone recommended us, like, you guys have no idea how many people came to our place.
Wow.
Like, the amount of times that happens to us, like, and I'm talking like not just in Melbourne, like Sydney, Adelaide, Gold Coast, Byron Bay, like we will travel or we'll get a DM from a restaurant being like, hey, we thought we had been hacked. We got like 400 followers overnight and we didn't know what would happen. And then 2 days later, we figured out like someone had mentioned us in the Secondz interview. Like, all those sorts of things, right? We're just like, wow, it's amazing to have that impact. It's amazing for restaurants when, to be like, yeah, like keep doing what you're doing. Like, and just the impact of like, by being selfless, by them recommending other people or their colleagues, it in turn actually helps their business and brings a spotlight on their business too. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to talk about yourself to actually help yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what this has proven. And it's also proven that you don't, you don't need to be negative to find a good restaurant. You don't need to like troll through like, oh, don't go there.
Yeah.
Spend your time looking at good places.
Yeah.
And enjoy that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And the positivity.
Absolutely.
What's like what was like, because I mean Secondz as a brand is like thriving obviously, and there is the app version of it. Did you feel like building the brand, because you got all these like brand partnership, obviously it comes with like a brief and some pressure. Did you feel like that's kind of taken a little bit of the actual mission of building Secondz, or do you like, how are you managing the two together?
It's very hard.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And we have this debate all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like that. Sometimes it's like, the worst thing I hate hearing is when someone goes like, oh my God, I love Secondz. Like, you guys are incredible. Oh, I went to watch your interviews. We went to this place in Byron Bay. We went to this place in Sydney. Amazing. And I'm like, oh God, amazing. What do you think of the app? And they're like, oh, I didn't know you had an app.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a thing.
And I think that happens.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think it's okay. I think like I would rather have an audience than no audience, right? Yeah. And obviously, if we're already tracking and charting on the App Store, it means that there's tens and thousands of people that have downloaded the app and love it, which is great. But it means that we still have a chance to convert that person who loves the brand already. We just need to do a better job in educating them, in finding a way to balance that. It's a hard balance, right?
It's interesting because you actually forget that you literally forget in a way that because it's not like, it's not like Instagram, you're using this all the time. You don't forget about Instagram. Yeah. But I feel like if you compare like from a consumer perspective, like I'm looking at Secondz recommendation on Instagram all the time, almost every day, right? Yeah. It's in my face every day. So if even I'm gonna think of like using Secondz, I'll probably go to the app, to the Instagram first because and I think that's what happened to me in Bali. Like I didn't think of that. I just went so it's.
I guess it's not such a bad thing.
I don't think so.
Because and it's also like I guess it's a good problem to have. It's like, oh, I have this amazing brand that's really well known, but I've also got this really great app that kind of like does the same thing. And I guess social media virality is something that's quite difficult to chase all the time. Yeah. And maybe if that was to ever go down, then the app would still be there to help. Platform you, but I'm not saying that it will. Yeah. But you know what I mean. I think it's not a bad thing, but I could see how it would be a difficult thing for you to manage because it's like, why don't we just fuck off the app and we just focus on the brand? You know what I mean? I'm sure you've had that thought before.
And that's and people have told us that as well, and people have told us about why don't you just build a media company and just forget? But for us, look at the media companies here and the legacy media companies here, right? Like. Some of them have been running for 15, 20 years, right? Some of them have only just left Australia now. Or it's hard. Being a pure media company, we're trying to change the world. We're trying to change the way everyone eats. And for a small company, we're already in 4 countries. We've done that through an app, right? Yeah. And we want to be in 100 countries. And I feel the app has so much value. And for me, I just see it as opportunity. Someone saying oh, I didn't realize you had an app. It's just an opportunity to convert someone that already loves a brand. So it's about how do we do that messaging? And we've learned from that. So now, before we just used to launch an interview and do some copy, but now after an interview finishes, our host will be like, download the app and do this, right? Yeah. And we watch, no joke, Andy Allen, MasterChef judge, interview went up, right? We went up 40 places in the App Store overnight.
Wow.
And we had the messaging there, right? So old Secondz, we wouldn't have even had that messaging at the end. Would have just been like,
that wasn't even a thing.
But even when it was out, right, we would still let an interview go out and just be like, let's not dilute it or whatever,
We don't want to be pushy. But I think something that you forget about is if someone believes in you and trusts in you, they don't really feel like they're getting sold to that much. Exactly. Because even sometimes for instance, when I'm watching YouTube or something and the guys like my video, it's like, I fucking like you as a creator. I will like the video. So they will download the app if they do like you.
Yeah. So we have to kind of get over that. But I still think brand is very important. Building that trust and that feeling of a brand. And we were very specific about, who we work with, who we partner with, all of that sort of stuff. And we want to give people that follow us the best product possible. So, we've just learned to get over that and just give it to them, download the app because honestly, we've had over 1 million saves on our videos, in the millions of saves just on our interviews and that sort of stuff, right? High in the millions. And it's why would you go back, watch that video again for 1 minute 30 or 60 seconds when you can just open up your app and see that in literally a couple of seconds and you're like, oh, bang, there it is, right? So I think it's an education thing. And how you talk about sometimes people they don't know Secondz as an app. A lot of the times it's actually not even to do with us. It's to do with just conditioning. review sites have been around for 30, 40 years, right? TripAdvisor, Google, like it's instinct. Like I'm looking for a restaurant, let me go to Google.
Yeah.
I'm looking like it takes a long time to kind of break those patterns, right?
For sure.
So we just want to be around and keep reminding people. And eventually, you know, as long as we're providing value, it'll start to have that network effect and take off. But like we're under no illusions. Like people have been doing things a certain way for so long. And you have to educate them. You have to keep reminding them because, you know, they are just used to doing certain things. Yeah.
How was your like mentality around, I don't know, or like the burden or how you feel about the business change from when you were starting it to now you're kind of like running it? Is it the same? You're still like just as hungry every day, or now that you've got a little bit of like, you've been validified a little bit more? Like, you know what I mean? Like your efforts have paid off a little bit more. Like, do you feel yourself like kind of resting on your laurels just a little bit more, or you're still just as ferocious every day?
I'd say hungrier.
You're hungrier.
Yeah, you have to be. Like, you know, I mean, one, we're responsible for, you know, a team of people, responsible for ourselves. Like we've brought people along on this journey and we have big dreams. Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone, like, well, why you get into this, right? So, you know, I think that if anything, we've kind of just, what has happened is that there's two reasons that startups usually fail, right? Like one, they run out of money. And two, they don't get product market fit, right? So we've seen that we've got the product market fit. So there's so much encouragement from that. Like people, like I was just in a meeting today with a big client in the music industry, right? A big record label. And they're like, oh my God, I used the app to find an Italian restaurant, you know, this weekend. It was amazing. Like, you know, all those sorts of things. Like that just gives you more drive to be like, wow, okay, we're onto something. Let's make this what it is. Let's improve. Let's iterate. So my drive is more like, you know, I just recently, you know, we recently did something with Song for the Mute, like crazy brand that I've always admired from afar.
That's so sick.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, shout out. And we just did something with them and I see stuff like that happen and I'm just like, we just want to do more cool stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Would you count the story that I told you about Builder's Arms one of those moments?
That is definitely one of those moments. Yeah. I love to hear it. I love to hear it. There's nothing better than hearing people just be like, you know, oh my God, recommendations and this place got recommended and I went there. Or, you know, and that's what, like, we love that. And that's the big problem we're trying to solve where we're like, this is the fastest and most reliable way to find a restaurant. The app's not perfect, but we're getting better every single time. But it's a lot better than reviews or trolling through Google and reading what strangers think, right? But even more satisfaction comes from restaurants. Like when we hear these stories from operators being like, yo, you have no idea. Like so many people have come because of your interview, or so many people have come because you created 24 hours in Adelaide, right? Like seeing that sort of stuff, they never paid for that. They never spent money on Facebook ads or doing that. They just got recommended through our platform and we were able to be a part of that. Like, especially now with the hospitality industry and how it's like so challenging and tough. I'm like, that is such a gratifying thing to be part of and part of that solution to hopefully find a better way. Yeah.
And I think the best part about it is the fact that literally like it's only a positive experience. It's never a negative experience. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're only telling people to go to this place. You're never telling people do not go to that place. There's no negative like association with any of the content, you know? I mean, some people might miss out, but that's all right, you know?
Yeah, but and this is the thing, like you don't need to be, that's what we just proven, you don't need to be negative, right? You don't, I think like one of the biggest things that people see about recommendations, right? Like, and I'm obviously not going to name any venues, right? But there could be like, because even a good rating and a bad rating is just as confusing, right? And I'll explain. So there could be a restaurant, trendy restaurant, that is like maybe a 5 or a 4.9, right?
Yeah.
But let's say you're 55 years old, right? Or 60 years old. And I'm not trying to be an ageist here. People in the back and like just work with me here. You go there and then you're like, then you write a review like, oh my God, the music was so loud, like it was too packed, it was like all of these sort of things. And you're like, oh, it was horrible, the worst place ever, right? Because it's a different vibe. And it was probably for like a younger demo that was like maybe, 25 to 30 or whatever. But when you Googled it, it said Italian restaurant CBD rated 5. So you're like, oh, it must be good, it must be for me. But what you find if you're 55, 60 and on Secondz you follow your friends that are around the same age, they're gonna tell you, oh no, go to this Italian restaurant. I like that. And when you go there, you're probably gonna love it because it's the same vibe that you want. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Makes
like
sense.
the power comes in like connecting or getting recommendations of people you trust or people you know, right? Because sometimes something that's very popular might not be right for you.
Yeah.
So, we provide that reference where it's like, okay, which one of your friends said this? Which one of your friends, when a friend tells you, you have to go to that bar, you don't even think twice.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm going to that bar.
For sure.
Because
Yeah,
hey, me and Tyrone, we got the same vibe. If this guy likes that bar, I'm going to like that bar.
For sure.
Yeah.
Are you running out of chefs?
Don't say that. I have chefs DMing us. Are we running out of chefs? Short answer is no. I think, but we are, we are doing less interviews, but we're not running out. I think they're still there. They're still great. They still perform unbelievably well. But we're just trying to diversify our content. We're just trying to, do original stories. We're about to move into like documentary, long form style as well.
Yeah, you've been talking about that for a while.
Yeah, we just pushed the button.
You did it?
Yeah, we
All
did
right,
it.
sick.
We've got the piece. We're in editing right now.
Yeah. You got the host?
I think this is gonna shake things up.
Right.
Love
We've
it.
done it a few times with our content. I know people borrow a lot of stuff from Secondz, no hate, but I think this format and what we did is incredible.
Yeah.
Like it's energy that I don't think people have seen before.
It's amazing.
It's some real vanguard, it's gonna be cool. So I think like brand partnerships, our Wear the F series, we're just about finding new ways of interacting with different tastemakers. We'll still have the interviews there. I don't think we'll ever run out, but it's just about, who do we think that people want to hear from? And we still have the whole of Southeast Asia and the whole world to go interview. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
once you start hitting like New York and things like
Exactly.
that, there's so many like bigger Europe. There's really big chefs there that are going to draw
big
huge
stuff.
Yeah.
We did a short little Japan stint with interviews there. It went crazy.
That would've been sick,
And
yeah.
the Australian appetite for Japan is wild.
insane.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Can I check something quickly?
Yeah,
man, of course.
This will be all edited and stuff, right?
No, we can cut it out. Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Cool.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
I had to.
I was gonna ask you with the app,
Yeah.
and you're talking about dipping into different musicians, fashion, music, fashion, things like that. Is there a way that the app is gonna? Could you see a future in which those things are integrated into the app? I mean, apart from them just giving the recommendations, you know what I mean? Would there be recommendations for I don't know, hidden gem stores to go shopping in certain cities and things like that? Is that something that you've thought about, or?
You're giving away the goods here, Tom.
Sorry, man, I'm one step ahead.
But I think naturally that's just where you have to go, right? Recommendations are just valuable in any sense, right?
For sure.
Whether it's a shop, whether it's a hotel somewhere you're not familiar with, it's just like a good recommendation. It means so much. So I think this can go wherever it goes. But I think for now, the core focus is on food and finding the best restaurant, fast and in the most reliable way. But we're just telling that story through different avenues, right? The chef part will always be the base and the the restaurateur and all of that will always be the core of it. But like I said, there's just as much value in different tastemakers, letting you know across, letting you into their world and their city, right? Be it a musician, being an artist, being a creative, being a sports star, like anyone, right? We're all kind of like, people all follow these people anyway, and they're interested in what they do. So why not find out where they eat and drink as well?
Cool.
What's your favorite spots around Melbourne?
No, don't do that to me.
No, that was just a joke, man.
I'll leave that to people answering.
That was just a joke.
No, I'm kidding.
No, what's your favorite part about your job?
Favorite part?
Yeah.
Just building.
Yeah.
Building, man. Like I love to build businesses. I love to see the impact of what you're doing. Hopefully you're solving a good problem. Like I said, I've been in food tech for a long time. Probably made more money before than I have now, but like seeing the impact and being a friend of the industry is a great thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just like people being appreciative of what it is you're trying to do, what it is you're trying to achieve. Like, it's hard, right? Like, you know, the hardest thing is like going after and building something that's not proven or done. You know, in entrepreneurship, it's like, you know, if someone starts Uber or something, right? Like, then there's been a whole bunch of spin-offs after that, right? You know, be it like, you know,
Didi,
Bolt or Didi or anything, right? But so you kind of like learn from their mistakes, and you kind of do whatever. There was someone, you know, before Uber. But like, when you're trying to solve a problem at scale that no one's really done, like there's very little reference points, right? To actually like learn from. So it's daunting, it's difficult, but like, you know, I wouldn't change it for everything. Like Sean and I, like, just like are engrossed in problem solving. You know, we really believe in the mission. I think the biggest thing is like, we love it. Like, if we are enjoying the product, you know, as people that like eat out and enjoy that sort of stuff, right? It's very easy to wake up every morning and to be able to go ahead and build something like this. Yeah.
Love it. And what's next for you guys?
What's next? Ooh, I think what's next is really taking the app to the next level. I think like we put something out there, it was good, you know, good enough. It's nowhere near how good we know it can be. And we've kind of taken that feedback. Before the end of the year, like, I think the app will be a game changer. You will see like a very, 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 very strong product.
Big update.
That you'll want to open every single time when you're thinking like, oh, where should we go? Secondly, on that, you're going to see a big content, you know, shift and, you know, continue with creativity. I spoke about the long form, so we're going to, you know, really experiment with different types of content and just try challenge the way people cover food and stuff in Australia. I think we've really shown that different faces can work in hospitality, different energy, all that sort of thing. We want to keep pushing the envelope and giving people a platform and showing food media in a different way. And then we're about to release a killer product, which I think is really gonna...
A product? A physical product?
No, so it'll be on the app. It's a function of the app. But essentially what we're doing is you know when you hear about, oh my God, Manze and Bar Rockford had a pop-up, had a collab or a pop-up, right?
Yeah.
And then like you see it on Instagram and you see like, oh my God, this, but you missed it because maybe
Like 6 days ago or something.
Yeah, it happened like 6 days ago or something, right? Or then you figure out that, oh shit, Builder's Arms had a
chicken night?
A steak night or chicken night I knew nothing about. I didn't even know that.
Tell me about it, bro.
You see what I mean? So what we're doing is we are going to aggregate all the best events, pop-ups and specials around Melbourne on the app, a dedicated tab where you can just filter and know like, bang, these pop-ups are on today.
And that's like a paid product?
No. Anyone can access it. Yeah.
Okay, free.
Yeah, anyone can access it. So anyone can log on and we will aggregate the best events in every pop-up specials, whatever, in any city we're live in. You can access that and just be able to know what's happening.
And from a business perspective, you got business owners like restaurant owners or cafe owners watching now. How can they be involved?
Hit us up.
They just hit you up.
Yeah, hit us up. Like talk to us. Like send us your pop-up. Send us your events or any specials that you think are going to add value. Like just shoot them through to us. And we'll be able to help out. We want people to be able to have variety, have choice, have great selection, And I don't think anyone has really done that at scale. But I would love to be able to just filter and say, I'm in Collingwood, what events or pop-ups or specials are happening tonight, and be able to access that.
Fucking perfect.
Yeah.
I think the problem that Secondz is solving, that I think you saw maybe at Zomato, maybe while you moved on, was, and I know because I used to really be into Zomato at that time of the thing, right back in the days. And I think the problem that we saw with it was that it became just like too diluted, and too, like people were kind of like paying to be on there, and they brought in this whole paid system, and then it was like, you can't really trust it, because the beauty of Zomato at the start was like, it's actually like people that are into food, reviewing food, kind of like what Secondz kind of is now, but then it just got weird, which you are obviously familiar with. What's your plan to not do that with Secondz?
That's a good question. And I think that's why we are just so thoughtful and so about who we work with or what we put on there. While we still obviously want people to get on and contribute, right? Like anyone can go and create a food board. Like you can create a top 10 ice cream places in Melbourne, and that list will go up right on our platform. But I think for us, it's about, you can find it, right? But you might be able to find something, we might be able to post something, but it's about the credibility. You're going to go on there and you're going to see that no one's recommended it. Or, do you know what I mean? Or you're going to see that none of your friends have recommended it, right? So I think for us, it's like, sure, here's this platform where everything exists, but the magic for you happens where you see like, holy cow, 30 chefs said this wine bar is amazing, and 7 of my friends said the same thing, I'm going there.
I'm going there.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's about, because we have that reference point, I feel like the consumer's always protected to be able to make an informed decision.
I guess because it's user driven. Because I feel like with Zomato, it was like once people could start paying to kind of be at the top of it, that's when it starts being weird. But it's not going to be like that with Secondz.
No,
right?
it's not going to be like that. Yeah, of course, we'll partner with restaurants in some way, but like it'll still be in a way that like it's up to the consumer to be able to see what's served to them, what's right for them. It's not about like having a banner ad that like, if you search for Thai restaurants, you're always going to see that restaurant because they're paid for something, right? Right. I don't think that's a great user experience. Yeah.
How did you come up with the name Secondz?
It's got like double meaning and all that sort of stuff, but basically the mission was always about, how do you find we just thought people spend too much time searching for restaurants. We've all been there, right? You're looking for a cafe or brunch on a Saturday morning, and you're in your bed for like an hour, you're like, where should we go? Where should we go, right? Yeah. So we were like, we should help people find a restaurant in Secondz, right? And then we're like, hey, Secondz, the place was so good, I went back for Secondz, and it's just like a play on all those kind of words. But initially it came from like speed. Like we just want that, like, wow, I love Shannon Martinez, because I love vegan food, bang, let me see where she recommended, right?
Okay.
Easy. Yeah. Like you haven't had to read 50 articles or read 100 reviews. And I feel like the way the world is going now, the attention span has got a lot shorter, right? People like, time and spending time on things is gone now. People want things quick and convenient, and that's what we're providing, right? Yeah. It doesn't mean that I think publications will still exist, but I think there's less of an appetite to read 500 words about a restaurant now. I think now people just want to know, is it good? Who goes there? What's the vibe? Cool, I'm going. Bang. Yeah.
Cool. Last question, unless you have another one to add.
I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you to drop this.
If you had to go back to 14-year-old Taf and tell him one thing,
14.
What would you say to him?
Wow. That's a great question. What would I tell him? I've answered everything so crispy. You've got me here.
Yeah.
I think, I guess
good. It means you're thinking about it deeply.
Yeah. I think I would just be, I'd probably say don't get in the way of like any negative thoughts or going for something, right? I just think that a lot of the times we get in our own way. I think people are probably their own worst enemy, like, like self-doubt and all that sort of stuff, and like, overthinking or is this gonna work? Is this not gonna work? Or I'm too shy or too embarrassed to make a mistake or make a fool of myself. But I feel like, I would just tell the 14-year-old Taf just to go for it, like with everything, to have the conviction and to have the courage to be able to go for your dreams. Because the last thing you want to do is live with regret. So you just got to go for it.
Nice. Would you say take the risk?
Yeah,
take
the
risks.
risk.
Yeah.
I think risk, comes reward. You got to go for it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of the most common, like you've seen that, I think it's that book where the guy interviewed all the people that were about to die. Mm-hmm. They're in that retirement home, they're like in their late 90s or whatever. And one of the most common things that people said was to take risks.
Take the risk.
Yeah. I've read that same book. I've read that book too. I think, is it like a green cover? I forget the title.
I'm not sure. I haven't read the book, but I know that is one of the things from it.
I've read that book. Yeah. I wish I could recommend the book because I would say read that book. It's a great book.
This guy's obsessed with recommendations. We get it, man. You recommend stuff.
We get it, Daf.
As a fun exercise, I would like to ask this question that Billy just asked you to Billy, because I've never asked him that question before.
You always do that to me every time.
Because I'm so interested. I'm so interested.
Answer. Do you want me to ask it? Hey, Billy, what would you do if you had to go back? What would you tell 14-year-old Billy?
This is deep.
Gee up. Man, look, honestly, I'll just tell him that it's going to be all right.
Nice.
Yeah, really. Just like, it always works out,
Yeah.
And believe in yourself, actually, like dream big and, don't limit yourself to your environment.
Yeah.
And, just dream big, really.
You have to. I like that. I like dreaming big, right? Like we always like big, hairy, audacious goal, like in the startup world. And I feel like it's there for a reason. Like you said, like if you limit like what you can actually go for, it's just limiting in that respect as well. It's like, but like, let's just say you were going to you wanted 1 billion people to download your app, right? As a result, maybe failure is 5 million downloads, but that's still incredible,
it's still
right?
Amazing, yeah.
But if you set the bar at I just want 10,000 people to download our app, right? Then disappointment is 500 people, right? So you always you can't solve problems to scale such a large goal if you don't have these crazy goals, right?
Yeah.
And I just feel like a lot of the times people just like I said, get in their own way or don't dream big enough. And look at me. I'm from Zimbabwe. I hadn't a lot of these cuisines, I hadn't even had them till I was in my 20s and stuff. And here we are now, telling everyone where to go eat, right? Yeah. If you didn't have that belief and that foresight in yourself to be I think this product is great. I think this, I think we can change the way people eat. Everything tells you that it shouldn't be me or Sean, who was an Irish backpacker, running, building a company like this. But here we are. So, yeah.
Love it,
Huge.
man.
Love it, man.
Look, really, your story is inspiring, and I resonate with it a lot. And what you guys are building with Secondz is beautiful, and it's a good example of, a good community and fun project.
Appreciate that.
And I personally learn a lot from you guys and your style and your energy.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us today.
No,
I really
man.
appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. I love what you guys are doing. It's great being able to do this. Like we said, I know we've spoken in the past before, but I'm a timing guy, and I just thought, the timing is right.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Hell
Appreciate it, man.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Taf.
Appreciate it.
That's it, bro.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
My guy.
Real G.